Hello, I'm Bradley and welcome to my channel. Sometimes taking a step back and a break from life is the very item which pushes us forward. Now you might find that sounds absolutely crazy, but you know what? It can excel us by just stopping what we're doing. Sometimes we can be working so hard at something which, to be honest, by taking a step back, we then realise that what on earth were you doing? When we keep going at something and keep pushing and persevering at something, we, in the end, realise that actually all you're doing is making things worse. Now, I talk from experience over the last 3 months. I've been really struggling and battling with some health issues and a situation which I thought was never really ever going to improve. And from appointment to appointment, I was being told pretty much the same, and it was frustrating, stressful, and it just fueled anxiety in my life of what on earth was going to happen. I eventually took a moment. I eventually stepped back and I took a break. I actually went on holiday. I had the blessing to be able to go on holiday. And do you know what? That doesn't always have to be the case, that some people in this situation, that's not going to be possible, whether it be for work, whether it be family or monetary value. Sometimes it's not going to be possible. But what I have learned from my own situation is just by that taking a break, taking a step back, is what really excels us forward. It seems to rejuvenate our mind. It seems to give us a fresh new look at things, whether it be something you're working on for work, whether it be a family issue, or whether it be something which you just seemingly cannot get to the end of, or at the bottom of a situation. For example, like me, I had a number of operations in the last 8 years which have left me with a lot of problems. At my age, quite an embarrassing prolific bladder issue, stomach issues, bowel issues, and sometimes it's difficult to talk about. But do you know what? Sometimes we have to talk about things to be able to push forward. Sometimes when we go through difficulties in life, we have to do the hard stuff, which then gets us through the other end, and we have to have those hard conversations. We have to have those difficult moments. Sometimes they can end in tears, sometimes they can end in laughter. But it's when we have to take a moment and we actually step back and we actually, do you know what, we own up to it all, that the situation in our life is difficult or it's hard, or what we're going through we're really struggling with. Actually, by letting that wall down in our life and stepping back and letting things just happen or process and let the world pass by for a couple of moments or a couple of days or a couple of weeks, can sometimes rejuvenate us, can sometimes reinvent us, and can sometimes give a whole new picture to things. So for me, health-wise going forward, it wasn't until I actually took just a pause from appointment after appointment, actually just literally stopping and thinking to myself, what on earth can I do? And actually just leaving the career development, leaving the extra hours at work, and leaving all the stressing and the worrying about everybody else, maybe in the family, and just solely concentrating on what was actually going on with me. I was having problems where I wasn't sleeping at night, I was getting excessively stressed, and just life felt like that it was a little bit of a struggle, and I am never a person to say that. I'm a very positive, optimistic person. But it wasn't until that I started actually just doing things which I enjoyed, only for a couple of days, okay? And we must always make time for ourselves to enjoy things in downtime. But for me, there's so many different things in my life which I like to try and make sure and keep tabs on and make sure that everything's functioning well and everybody around me is as well, that actually, do you know what? It really just took a moment to think, do you know what? I am acknowledging that something is not working here, but I do not know what it is. And I stopped, and actually it all came to a bit of a head where I had a horrific bout of pain come on from doing something, and that was a telltale sign that something was struggling. Something was struggling in me. Something was starting to, all the stress, all the anxiety was starting to affect my health. And in the end, I took some time, I done some research, and I came up with a bit of a plan. But it wasn't until that all this became clear with me that actually I was functioning and functioning and functioning, and actually I took a step back and I actually thought, do you know what, the next couple of days, Bradley, we're just going to concentrate and we're just going to take a step back. We're going to not do the extra hours of work. We're not going to do the extra. We're going to do what we need to do to get you through. And actually, it started to come together. It started to come together, and actually I almost had a little bit more headspace. Things became a little bit more clearer for me, and I'd done some research and I managed to get myself in touch with someone who I needed to see. Yes, it was privately, but I managed to get in touch with a private surgeon, and do you know what? I am now on a path. It's a difficult one. I'm not 100% sure if it's going to work, but that's the thing in life, isn't it? None of us know if something's going to work. None of us know if something's going to be successful, and sometimes we make mistakes. But sometimes we must stop what we're doing, we must step back for us to then be able to see the bigger picture in front of us. It's almost breaking a cycle. If you're doing something over and over and over, or if you're struggling with a habit, or if you're struggling with anxiety or stress or worry or all those things which we put so much effort into, but yet we don't get anything actually out of them, okay? Sometimes it takes just being hard on ourselves and breaking that just for a moment and stopping all of what's going on around us and just do what gets you through. And then actually by doing that, by stepping back, we're actually excelling ourselves forward. Because by doing that, we're breaking that, we're getting the headspace what we need, we're realigning everything in our life, and then all of a sudden, it just seems to be a little bit more easier, it seems to be a little bit more clearer, it seems to come together just that little bit more, I suppose that much more better continuity and that functioning seems to just slip into place a little bit more, and you get a bit more of a composition in your mind that actually, you can do this. Hang on a minute, I didn't think of that. Or, hang on a minute, maybe I'll do it this way, or maybe I'll try it that way. And my friend, if you get it wrong, don't worry about it, because never ever worry about making mistakes, because that's what grows us. That's what gets us in a better situation in life, a better position in life. That's what grows us and develops us and moves us forward. So really, by stopping the constant stress cycle or the constant worry cycle, or if we're working hard at something and we're not really getting anywhere but we keep doing the same thing over and over again, by breaking it and acknowledging that. For me, I've talked about my health, but maybe it's a family issue, maybe it's a monetary issue, maybe it's a health problem, but yet maybe it's spurred on by maybe addiction, or maybe anxiety or stress, or maybe it's a situation in a relationship, or maybe it's education, maybe you just cannot get your head around a certain topic. That's a little bit more straightforward. We're actually just taking a break. But if we use that analogy, by taking a break, okay, stepping back from a situation, letting a situation kind of manifest on its own for a little bit, or letting life happen for a little bit, or letting yourself recuperate for a little bit, whether it be health, work, relationships, family, monetary, all of those things, by stepping back, we almost get excelled forward because we get that better clarity, that better headspace, that better functionality, that better composition in our mind to be able to re-energize, to be able to rejuvenate, to be able to step forward and move forward. And yet, by stepping back, we're actually moving forward. Isn't that just interesting? So I'm going to be working on that a lot more going forward. And from my experience to you, let's do it together. So how about you try it too? On that note, I really do hope that I've helped you, and I hope that we can maybe I've helped you resonate with some of the things I'm going through, or maybe you feel as though, do you know what, I'm going to try that, and do you know what, you've made a bit of sense there. Let me know. If you think it's ridiculous or silly, let me know also. But God bless, take great care, and I look forward to your company real soon. Bye now.